Hello and welcome to The Wise Why. This morning I am joined by Dawn Taylor from DLT Visions, and she is absolutely inspirational. I've invited her on because it is October, and rather than me explaining why I invited Dawn on and why she's wearing pink, I'll go straight over to Dawn because The Wise Why is not about me. So Dawn, please introduce yourself and explain why we held off till October to get you on the show.
Hi, good morning, Kirsty. Yeah, thank you for having me on your podcast. I've been waiting for this for quite a bit of time. But yeah, I'm Dawn, and I founded my company DLT Visions just a year ago this month, actually, Kirsty. And I founded DLT Visions, which is my venture to help women, business owners, find their confidence and be themselves on social media. And I do this through one-to-one coaching, personal brand photography, and social media strategy. But also along this journey, which started, in 2018, basically, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, it started a journey for me of transformation. So, yeah, I wanted to share a bit about my journey today and celebrate. Well, not celebrate. Let's mark October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a special month for me. Partly because at the end of this month, I will be 6 years clear. And yeah, it's all linked. October's my month.
Yeah. And breast cancer has affected our family. I won't break confidence, but it has affected our family, and it was incredibly difficult for us. It was during the pandemic, and I felt powerless. I couldn't get to the person, couldn't see them, and the long-term effects after the breast cancer. It's not the breast cancer; it's the chemo and the long-term effects after that have just. Yeah, it's still impacting today. So I won't go personal, but I'd rather if you could explain about your journey. And that everyone's scared. Can't you hear the word cancer and everyone's scared? How did you find out that were you doing a breast check? People are scared to even do breast checks. So yeah, if you're worried about breasts today, we are going to talk about them.
Yes.
If you could just explain how it all happened.
Yeah. So I was a humanitarian aid worker. So I worked for a medical aid charity. I was living in Amsterdam. I was like a technical advisor, supporting the field in water and sanitation and all sort of health related things and emergencies. And I was just about to go off to Ethiopia to do a training course for the field staff. And yeah, basically I was in the shower. Found a lump in my right breast and thought, that doesn't feel right. I wasn't a big checker. I wasn't a big checker, but I thought, let me go to the GP. So I rang the GP and I got an immediate appointment. And basically, she had a feel around and thought, there's something there. There's something there. Nothing to worry about, Dawn. Nothing to worry about. Go to Ethiopia and I'll book you in for a mammogram when you get back. So I went off to Ethiopia thinking none the wiser. Came back, had the mammogram. Then there was the lump was a cyst, just a benign cyst. Thank you very much. And then but there were some white dots. You get these white dots. They're called calcification. So she says, well, let's just check this out a bit further. So I was referred for a biopsy, but that didn't happen. So I went home for Christmas because this is all at the end of the year. I went home for Christmas and I was busy booking flights to New York for my 50th with my best mates. None the wiser again. Came back. Yeah, had the biopsy, and they said, nothing to worry about, Dawn, but we're just going to do a second biopsy because we've got this new machine that's being installed, and we want to try it out. So I got that at the end of January, and then they said, there's something not quite right. So I was referred for an MRI, and then it all went a bit pear-shaped, basically. So on the 5th, I remember the date clearly, February the 9th, 2018, they said, yes, it's a bit bigger than we thought. Turns out it was my whole of my right breast. I had a 10 centimeter tumor, which is not detectable on mammogram. Can you believe it? It's one of these, it's ER positive, HER negative, But yeah, basically the whole of my right breast was white on the MRI. And they said, basically, you're going to have chemo, mastectomy, radiotherapy. You're going to get the full works done. They said, this is all in Amsterdam. I'm diagnosed in Amsterdam. So I went, oh my God. And I don't know, I was in shock. But so I went off on holiday the next day. On the 10th of February, I went on my normal skiing holiday to Austria, kind of basically blocked it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't tell my friends till the last night. And then, because I thought, yeah, reality's hitting home. Came back and basically got myself back to the UK because I'm single. I had no support really. I was only in Amsterdam for work. Told my boss and everybody, but basically got home and had my treatment in the UK with the support of my family and in particular my sister. And then I went through the full journey, the full works. I got the full works, and I can tell you all about that if you like.
No, I really appreciate you sharing that. I want to talk about the positive and how you've turned your life into helping other women and empowering other women. But I wanted to touch on it because obviously it's affected us. I think it was really important to mention. I mean, I've had mammograms; they're not nice, but it's important that you mentioned that your cancer wasn't detectable on a mammogram. So many of us are not aware of that. I was aware that mammograms there. I have regular checks. I found lumps and I got them checked and they were benign, but I didn't know that things couldn't be found on mammograms. So thank you very much for sharing that. But you went through all of this and you've come out the other side, and I know how you champion women. I know how supportive you are, and I love your passion for that. So if you could explain how you help and this journey that you've gone on, because you didn't just come out of cancer and launch a business. You've had help and coaching and support to get you to where you are.
Yeah. So basically, I've spent the whole of 2018 having the cancer treatment, but then I moved back to sort of pick up my life as a humanitarian technical advisor. And then COVID happened, right? COVID happened. I'm like, okay, so we were all working from home, and that was absolutely fine, 2020, 2021. But then it was like I had to start when the world opened up. I had to start traveling again, and that's when I realized that with all the treatment and everything, I was feeling a bit old. My body wasn't quite where it was. My brain wasn't quite where it was, and I realized I couldn't really do it anymore as what was needed by my organization. So that's when I started to get help. So I got help from my lovely organization, organized a psychologist to help me sort of navigate how I was feeling. That really helped. But then I realized, it still wasn't quite enough, and I needed a bit more of so I got a life coach, and we were walking, and it was like therapy in nature, also funded by my organization, who were absolutely fantastic through the whole journey. But this is when I realized that, yes, I do need to ask for help, because I've been doing everything myself. I was completely independent. I was single. I was just, living my life. But through talking to my life coach, I realized that there was more to life than just work. And I really needed to take a step back and focus on myself, about how I was feeling. At this point, I'd also, my mother had passed away from cancer, different, not breast cancer, but another cancer. So I had quite a lot of trauma. I think that, it was quite a lot of trauma in my life. And I realized I needed to navigate this and reframe it. And that all led to the major decision in 2022 to part ways with my second career, it was, and move back to the UK, and then start a brand new life from scratch. So I bought a house, I bought a car, and then I started a business. So I invested in myself again. I got another coach. So that's when I joined the Tech Pixies community, because there's coaching is all about mindset as well as social media. I invested in photography because that was a passion that I'd had for a very long time. then I found brand photography. I thought, oh, this is something I can help people, can help women business owners get visible on social media through imagery. But I also realized that mindset is a big part of that as well. So yeah, I got a business coach as well. So I'm doing a business course now. And I want to help take women business owners like me who are changing career or starting a business, take them on the same journey that I've been on, wherever they're at in their journey, but basically to help them get there faster, because I've reaped the benefits of having coaches. And yes, I've only been going a year. And the reason is those coaches that have helped me along the way. So I'd like to basically help women along the way.
It's brilliant. If you think about it, so there's a couple of things that happen in women's lives, and we're told we can have everything. I have this debate with a lot of my friends all the time. We are told as women, you can have everything. You can have the career, you can travel the world, you can see everything, you can have children, and you can manage it all. And I'm a mom, I've got an 8-year-old. I'm in my 50s, so I'm an old mom, and I'm tired. I know that sounds really awful, but I get tired, and you can't have it all. And there's that point where you become a mom and your life shifts, or you don't become a mom and you go into your career. You hit the menopause. That really, really sucks. You have something like cancer, or in my case, an ectopic pregnancy, and it completely and utterly changes the way that you look at life. And these things, these traumas, these moments in life change who you are. If I was to say one thing to you, I'd say you are brave and you are wonderful, and I really appreciate you sharing that this morning. So on that note, aha moments. Now, it's one of my favorite questions I always ask people. You've talked about the cancer, you've talked about going to coaching, you've talked about completely and utterly changing your life. But has there been one single moment where you went, aha, that was the right decision, or aha, that was a really bad decision?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can pin it down. I can pin it down to the life coaching when I asked for help, because I realized, and it was the awareness of it. You don't need to do everything on your own, Dawn. You need to ask for help. And that was probably the start of my transformation. So if you probably wouldn't recognize me if you saw me, like, I don't know, 10 years ago. I was quite shy, introvert, just got on with my job. I think I'm a friendly person, but I was just all about others, all about helping other people get where they need to be. And I'm obviously still like that, but I kind of put myself on the back burner. And it was only during those coaching sessions that I realized that I was blocking all the feelings about myself. Like, how do I look? How do I feel? At this point, I'd had a mastectomy. I was flat on one side. I was navigating all the changing perception of myself and my body and my mind. So yeah, that would be my aha moment, is ask for help and ask an expert, hire an expert, basically, get a coach because basically they can help you look at your life or look at your feelings or look at your challenges from a different perspective and help you reframe it. And you wouldn't, I've done maybe a 360 transformation, you'll see, if you go on my socials, you'll see I even had a photo shoot where I was so empowering, because I basically took my clothes off because I wanted to celebrate who I am now and where I've come, how far I've come.
And they are stunning.
And I would never have done that before. I was a bit shy, even on the beach. But now I feel like I'm embracing who I am. I mean, it's took me like maybe 56 years, but that's okay. That's absolutely, it's never too late to embrace who you are, why you're there, and just go for it.
So I always say that, because I look at, I'm 53, and I look at it now and I go, do you know what? It's not about being 53. It's about I want to live till I'm 140. I make no secret of this. I have no idea why I've chosen 140. But I look at that and go, I've got a lot of years left and I'm going to live them. I am so going to live them. So you talked very briefly about your sister supporting you. And I wondered if you could just talk about the people who've been there, who've held you, because you've talked about the coaching, which is awesome, but who in your personal life has held you? Because you can't get through these really dark times without those friends, those family members who just lift you and hold you in that dark time. So if you could just talk about who's inspired you and supported you through that darkness.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, first and foremost, my sister Gail, she, as soon as I was diagnosed, and my brother-in-law Bruno, they are my rocks in my life. And they said, basically, come home, we're going to sort it. And my sister came to every appointment with me, took me to have the surgeries, but basically just looked after me. And I've never been really looked after before. I say I've been single most of my life, so it was amazing to have that support and just a safe space to get through it. And then I had some amazing friends and colleagues. So my best friends from university, my best friends from later in life were all there to support me. Traveling, I live in the middle of the countryside in Leicestershire. People traveled from Amsterdam for a day to visit me. My friends traveled down. So I had my 50th birthday and I was supposed to be in New York, right? So I had to cancel the whole thing. But I said to my best mates, you go and do it for me. And they were on the WhatsApp showing me what I was missing. Actually, on my birthday, because we were supposed to go, I think it was a few days before. On my birthday, both of them traveled down from Harrogate and Leeds to surprise me. I was supposed to be I was going out for a lunch with my family, and I was just going to do a little, my sister taught me to play the piano. I forgot this one. My sister taught me to play the piano during my treatment, and I passed grade 1 with distinction. Nevertheless. But anyway, so I was going to have a little tinkle on the piano while we were waiting to go to this 5-star restaurant, Michelin star. And there my 2 best friends were sitting on the piano stool, which was absolutely amazing. I was in floods of tears. And then I've got such other good friends who have helped me along the way. I won't name them all, but there's about 5 friends who have all been there for me. And I wouldn't have got where I am without that support, as well as the support from my ex-colleagues and my organisation, who made sure I was taken care of and thought about and looked after. And that means so much when you're facing things like that. So I wasn't actually trying to hide it, which is, because it's a bit like you don't want people to say, what's wrong with you or something like that. There's things you don't say to somebody who's going through cancer. But they just knew. I knew that I was in their thoughts. They didn't have to say anything, but I just knew I was in their thoughts, and they were cheering me on to get where I needed to be.
That's brilliant. We've had some comments, which is really lovely. So you've been joined by Annette, who says, congratulations, Dawn, on being cancer-free for 6 years. Thank you, Annette. Long may it continue. Hayley, thank you, says, what a powerhouse, Dawn. This is an amazing story, Dawn. I'm in awe, from Joanne Baker. And yeah, Annette says, an inspiring story. And that is exactly why I wanted to bring you on. I remember us talking about a year ago, and I think it was some help. You wanted me to check your website and just give you some pointers. And we were having this conversation, and then you started talking about what you had gone through, and at that point I didn't know, so it must be about a year ago, and in fact it was probably November, because I think we just missed October, and I went, we've got to wait, and you were like, what? I went, no, we've got to wait, we cannot bring you on any other time, because it's such an important topic. My sister, I love you to pieces, Lisa, but I'd had something like 5 mammograms by the time she had her first one, and it's not, as we already know from you saying earlier, it's not foolproof, but at least it's something. People don't check. There is such a fear of so many things, but look at Dawn. If you're watching this, look at Dawn. She faced it. She came through it. Your resilience is incredible. And now look at your life. So what's next? I've got to ask you, what's next? What's next for Dawn Taylor and DLT Visions?
Yeah, so well, you know, I'm busy with my social media. I'm busy networking. I've made so many, you know, moving back to the UK, didn't have a network in my local community. All my friends live in London or up north. So I started local networking. So I've met lots of lovely ladies and friends in the local area. I've been doing my photography. I had some social media clients. I've had one coaching client, and basically I'm just staying on the road, doing the work and building my business. So the next exciting thing in the pipeline will be a masterclass. It's going to be a free masterclass taking you from invisible to unstoppable. And it's the 3 steps you need to boost your confidence and visibility online, because that's what I'm all about. So I'd love, I mean, keep watching, find me on all my socials, because yeah, that's going to be before the end of the year, hopefully, because I really want to get my message out there. Whether you come and work with me or not, that's fine. But I really want to get my messages out there about how to show up for yourself and how to show up for your business online.
And let's just talk about your photography for a minute, because you do something that you and Jane, of course, Jen's surname can't come to me this morning. You do this really clever thing where you don't have to be physically with the person to have the photo shoot. And
Yeah.
this has blown my mind. I have no idea how it works, partly because I need the photographer right in front of me. And that is I was an actor. I hate my photo taken, but I'm used to headshots, and I don't proof my photos now. So even when I go out networking and someone takes a snapshot, I'm like, yeah, just post it. I don't want to see it. So I don't even look at photos now. I'm just like, tell me which ones to use. In fact, my last brand photography was with Alistair, and I went, you choose and tell me, because I can't choose. So
Oh, wow.
I know it's really interesting, because I don't, and it's the actor in me. I just put it out there. I've stopped worrying about being vain.
I think everybody should. I think that you've got some words of wisdom there, Kirsty. I think everybody needs to be like that.
Honestly,
I'm like very critical. I'm like looking for every flaw in myself, but yeah.
So I gave that all up. Once I started launching the YouTube channel and I started putting videos up there was a video I did where I was out in the garden. It was a hot sunny day, and I'm sitting there in my bikini. You can't see my bikini because, well, I'm not showing that bit, but it's my headshot. I've got no makeup on. I've just come out the paddling pool, and I just went, you know what, this is authentic. I'm just going to do it straight to camera. And at that point, that was the day that I went, I don't care if I wear makeup. I do care. Don't get me wrong. I do care. I want to be clean. I want to be, but that obsession that comes with being an actor. So I threw it away because I ripped it up. But that's not what I was asking. I was asking, not about me, back to you. How do you do virtual shoots?
Well, you see, it's kind of the easy option. You know, if you've got limited time, limited budget, you know, you need some images for your social media. It's amazing what we can do. So basically, as long as you've got a decent mobile phone, you download an app, which is free. You don't need to register for it. You give me the ID number. I plug it into my app on my computer, and I'm connected. I take control of your mobile phone lens, just the lenses on your camera. And then all you're going to hear, so you can imagine with my accent, you're going to be hearing me say, hi, it's Dawn. You can't see me, but you can hear me. So I have to be very articulate in the way I'm going to direct you and pose you. And we go around, we can do it in your house, wherever you've got an internet connection. So in a cafe. And basically I take some headshots. I get the videos of your house. So I pick the best places for the lighting. I need a blank wall for some headshots. And basically we just have fun with it. So we take an hour. You've already chosen your outfits. We've had a good planning call, a very detailed planning call. How do you want to be seen? Do you want a fun vibe? Do you want a professional vibe? What are your brand colors? What are you going to be wearing? And then we go for it. And yeah, basically I take you pose like this, pose like that. Then I download the photographs to my computer. And then I do a light edit because we're keeping authentic here. We're not trying to make you look 20 years younger, because who needs a profile picture that nobody will recognize you if you walk into a networking meeting? And yeah, I send you I do a light edit and send you the photos back, all within, you know, couple of days, and you've got your images. Now the question is, are you going to post them? Because I've done some shoots, and yes, I see them on socials, but some, they're still on their computer. So that's the next step, because what if you've got images, but if you're not sharing those images, you're not posting consistently, what's the point? So yeah, I'm gonna take you on that next step as well, should you choose. But yeah, it's an amazing, budget friendly, quick and easy version to get yourself visible.
Brilliant. So we just had Annette's just said, that sounds amazing, Dawn. I might want to take this further, which is brilliant. Okay, so the tables get turned now, and you get to look at me. I put my glasses on, protecting myself. I'll take them off. You get to ask me a question, and I get to try and answer it. So fill your boots, and let's see.
Just before we do that, I just want to have a shout out to all the women that are on their cancer journey this month. Basically quoting a friend of mine that I've met networking: stay on the bus, however bumpy it gets. And for those who, everybody else, make sure you check your boobs, please. That's my big message. Now, Kirsty, I've got two beautiful 18-year-old nieces, and I'd love to know your words of wisdom. If you could talk back to your 18-year-old self, what would be your one point of wisdom that you'd wish you'd known then that's helped you now?
Don't get set up on your goal. It sounds really silly. At 18 years old, I had a plan. I was going to get into a musical. I did. I was then going to give up the musical theatre. I did. I was then going to go into the acting industry, and I did. The one thing I said I wouldn't do, but I did, was get married. And so I got married, I think, too young the first time. I really do. My practice husband, you know, you're out there, you know who you are. I definitely got married too young. I was 22, way too young. So that became toxic, and through that toxicity, I lost my acting career, and that's fine. I've got no qualms about that. But at 18, I had a dream of being an actor. That's all I was going to be. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to work at the Royal Shakespeare Company. I wanted to work at the National, and I wasn't actually bothered about Hollywood or anything like that. For me, it was I wanted to go on tour and be in theatre. I wanted to do straight acting. Shakespeare was my passion. I absolutely just love Shakespeare. But life didn't turn out that way. And so I would say, set your goals for today, set your goals for the future, but don't be immovable, because life is going to throw you some incredible hairpin bends. Now, if you had told me that I was going to be a mother at 44, if you had told me that I was going to get married again, if you told me I was going to move and live in rural Oxfordshire, I would have laughed my head off. All of the stuff that I stand here today and I do. If you said I was going to run my own company and I was going to have 2 live stream podcasts, I was going to have a YouTube channel. If you had told me I, as a dyslexic, was going to write blogs, I would have howled with laughter. One, because my spelling is absolutely atrocious, and I make no secrets of it. So all the things I do now, all the things that I have that bring me the money, that give me the confidence, I didn't know I would do. The one thing I would say is I've always been aware that I'm a strong character. I've always been aware that I've quite a lot to take on. You know, I am very, very, very bubbly. I'm very, very passionate, and I'm very, very driven in anything that I do. So that hasn't changed. That drive hasn't changed. But I would say to my 18-year-old self, don't be immovable, and maybe think about holding off getting married and living with somebody for a long time first, which is what I did the second time. And you know what? It really worked. So that's probably what I would have given my advice to. But at 22, in the early 90s, you got married at 22. It was what you did. So again, that's the other thing. Give yourself permission to fail. give yourself permission to change and bend and I'd go and explore Wu Wei, but don't give yourself a hard time, because there's no such thing as failure. It's just a shift and a mindset change. So don't ever give yourself a hard time because maybe life has thrown you a hairpin bend. Embrace it, bend it, go with it, and live life. Because I certainly am.
Love that. Yeah, it does. It does. And I hope I'm going to pass that on. I'm going to make them watch this recording, and just, yeah, thank you for that, because that speaks to my heart as well. So thank you for that.
Well, no, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your journey. A shout out to any woman, as you said, who is waiting for a diagnosis, who is going through treatment. It's not easy. And also, you know, I know we're talking about breast cancer, but actually I've lost a lot of friends, and I know we're not talking about brain tumors, but just out of respect for Ben, you know, you touched my heart. You broke me when you died this year. And I think even now, and if you haven't seen Ben's episode of The Wise Why, unfortunately, Ben Lewis died of 4 brain tumors, and that still guts me. You can see it still guts me. It still hurts here. So anybody who's there, get yourself checked. Follow Dawn's advice. Have you got one word of wisdom that you can share about your cancer journey to the audience today?
Ask for help. Ask for help. Stay on there. Take one step at a time, and ask for help from your family, your friends, and so you've got that support. And just keep going. Just keep going, because there is life after cancer, and I know you can get there.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.